It's so sad. It was like this is the worst weekend of OpTic that I've ever seen. And you think with St. Patrick's Day being green and shit, that would give us some sort of luck. Luck isn't a thing apparently because
I
all our
was out
teams
with
shit the
the
bed.
wall last night.
Are you listening?
Women love my finger.
Oh my god, dude! I just got it. Oh my god!
Oh no, did you just get the name, dude?
I just got it.
Oh my goodness.
Doesn't get it.
Everyone roast him, man.
Oh my god!
What's a jumper?
Sweater.
Sorry, my sweater. Yeah.
So with the COD team coming to groups, I didn't watch the first match live. I'm like, wow, we lost. Like, shit. I'm like,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. We'll come out second. And did you guys hear about the Aches drama?
Yeah, I did. It was kind of silly, I think.
No,
No, it wasn't silly. It was Aches. That was a pun. I'm sorry.
It was terrible.
It was bad.
terrible.
No.
I'm offended.
But
About to leave this call out.
so basically, I'm sure everyone was watching when OpTic went down. They could have had a three-way tie, and they would have made it as long as Reciprocity lost to Envious, who was, I think they only go by Envy actually now, who was looking great. And the first match, it was one of the worst hard points I've seen since like Black Ops 2. And everyone started saying they're throwing. Game 2, it was not close. And game 3, they lost the first 2 points in control until the very last second of the control. They had like a 1v3 clutch or something like that, and brought back to round 11, game 5, and they nearly won, and they lost. But everyone in the first half were saying they were throwing. There were tweets around, Crim to lead some, and like the fact that we had to like even have to root for another team when we just won Vegas.
Yeah, it's our own fault though. We can't blame anyone but ourselves at the end of the day.
And the thing is, there were small mistakes. Like if you guys weren't watching the matches, there were small things like Karma. Honestly, I think he's one of the smartest players to play the game. But at the end of we were up, I think it was like 2 rounds in control. And at the end of one of the rounds, he like used a grab slam. He wasn't close to the guy, and the guy went behind cover and wasted it. And we ended up throwing all of our specialists at them and lost. Crim, did you guys see when Crim fell off the map? Crim fell off the map.
Yeah, I did watch that too.
In a 1v2. And we lost that game, and because of that game, we lost that series. If we would have won that series, we would at least would have made it into winner's bracket.
It's crazy to me that I believe Dashy still had a top 2 KD over the weekend.
Dashy was carrying so hard. Scump and TJ were
Crim played pretty well too. He's top 15 KDA.
Crim had about 2 maps where he really struggled, but like later on that series he picked it up. But like throughout the entire event, it was really TJ and Scump. TJ kept holding onto the War Machine way too long, and that's what I saw a lot of people saying too. And then yesterday, I think it was, or maybe it was this morning, TJ or Carmen tweeted out that him and TJ are going to be swapping roles.
Saw that, yeah, specialist, not roles, specialist. Because he doesn't want to play a sub, but that sub needs to be on grapple.
Yeah, so he's going to be playing War Machine, which I love seeing Karma with the grapple and grab slam, just because he's so smart with it, and War Machine doesn't have that of an intelligent play with it, and because of that we get out on some of that, and then the War Machine can be countered so hard by Flak. Although I feel like if it was Karma would do the thing where like he'd pull out Flak, he'd pull out the War Machine, wait if they have Flak, immediately put it away, and that because like you'll see if you have Flak Jacket, you could just rush a guy with War Machine unless he direct impacts you. He's not going to do anything to you. But that's the only intelligent play you can do with it. What do you guys think about TJ?
I think it was just an off weekend for my subs in general. I think it's difficult to win games when both of your subs are having off games. TJ and Scump both didn't really play very well over the weekend. I think our ARs played like exceptionally well. I think Crim and Dashy played well, and then Karma played exactly how he should be playing, I think, in general. And like we just didn't play like a championship caliber squad, and it showed. I don't know what you think, Ben, but
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand. Obviously, I don't know if the boot camps are helping or not, but like they said before last event, we're doing one boot camp for the start of this event because we really want to win it, and then we're not going to do any more because it sometimes hinders. And it honestly might have been the reason we lost this event.
yeah.
Every time we do the boot camp, they like seem to place top 7.
Yeah,
But,
exactly. Yeah.
or worse now. I don't know. Like, I love them and all. Like, I don't hate any of them. It's just that like it's super frustrating, and like there's definitely something going on. Like some people are like, oh well, Scump was playing like he was switching roles when Zuma was subbing in at the LAN, at the Pro League LAN. But like, to be honest, you guys actually think that makes a difference? I mean, they had enough time to practice after that point.
Yeah,
they were one of the first weeks, and
they had ages.
And then they also land, and it just sucks because it came down to the last second of so many maps. And there were some games where like the 100+ point comeback on Hardpoint, they were playing out of their minds the second half. If they were able to play like that the entire time,
yeah,
it would, like, they'd be lights out, and there'd be no, you would have seen them like destroy LG in the finals.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing that pisses me off is like OpTic has lost multiple maps in like this year alone due to streaks, and I've been saying since like Black Ops 2, I don't really like the idea of streaks in the game, although they're fun, especially Black Ops 2. But since then, they've been like very, I don't know, they're too snowbally. And especially now that you have like specials in the game. Now I know a lot of people love the idea of streaks. What do you guys think about streaks in the game? Because we lost because we just feed streaks a couple of the maps.
Yeah, I think COD is in a very weird state as an esport. I think the game is like the games, I guess, plural, progress, you're getting more and more talent in the scene, and the COD only has so high of a skill gap as like a team game because there's only so much you can do. You can only play so smart. Like there's not an insane amount of layers. There's no like champion draft pick. There's no like out strategizing there in micro and the macro. Like though there is a skill gap for sure, there's definitely a limit to that. And I think we're starting to see that more and more. We saw that in World War II, and I think we kind of saw a lot at this event. Is like you see a lot of teams like one day they're just frying and doing well, and then the next day they're doing trash. Same with LG. Like in the Pro League, they weren't doing well, and then all of a sudden they fry here. And like obviously they've improved since the Pro League, but at the same time, it's like you're still the same core roster, and then you're just winning an event. So it's a weird situation, I think.
So I saw a couple people calling for changes to the roster, and I think it's the dumbest thing.
Yeah, not yet.
The dumbest thing you can call for. I was on the Reddit, and someone said that TJ and Karma are bots, and that Karma had a great event. He may have had one map here or there, but people need to like chill out. I posted something on Reddit, like the post discussion or whatnot, saying I saw these things, it's just frustrating, blah blah blah. I still love the team, whatnot. And Karma actually responded, and he was bummed. Like the fact that hours later he was on Reddit. First of all, I don't know. I would not be able to do that after going out top 12 with our fan base. But like some people were throwing so much hate and shade, and I think it's a good problem to have in the sense where if they just got destroyed, you know what I mean? Like CS:GO, they've sucked for a long time.
That they did. And
we don't really care because like that's what we expect. But for them to be so close.
Don't really care.
Okay.
No, well, like I mean, no one cares.
I get what you mean,
if we go up,
it's not to the same insane level. Yeah.
If we go up against Astralis and we lose, like oh, okay. But like if we go up against Gen G and we lose at that close, we're pissed because we know we're better and we have chances. And everyone loves the COD team.
If we don't win the event, people are pissed.
Yeah, especially with the COD team because everyone loves the COD team. Yeah. I mean, you think after last year with constant losing and not winning, we'd be a little bit more nice. But I've already seen like posts like, "Is OpTic Gaming's fan base too toxic?" And it's like,
yep,
you're gonna see that after every event, whether they win a lot or when they lose a lot, which sucks.
Yeah.
And then like the Gen G match, I brought up the streaks earlier because like this is what I mean when we were so close. They we almost had streaks, and we let them get streaks.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the fact that they could carry over to rounds, I think, is absolutely ridiculous. The fact that, like, if I do well on one side and I get streaks, then
Mm-hmm.
the reason why teams switch sides and switch halves in traditional sports is because a lot of times the one side might be favored. And so now you're starting neutral. If this team scored 5 points in their half, then you have the same field, the same chance that they had to do it. But if I have a lightning strike and like a gunship or something because I was on the better side, and then it carries over, I think it's BS. But the fact that we got through that on S&D through like 2 or 3 rounds, and then we brought it back, and we're still to lose like that on the last game, like, just
we just didn't have the clutch factor this weekend.
It hurt so bad. The only time we clutched was when it was Dashy. And a couple from Karma, but like, dude, Dashy, like, I hope he doesn't leave, dude.
I don't see him leaving right now, at least. If anything, he'd stay and other people would leave.
True.
Just because how good he is.
But like, I don't know. I feel like Scump, for example, has that raw gun skill. I would think, but Dashy is just on a whole nother level. I don't know what it is. I'm not sure if it's the Maddox, because Scump was doing well in the Maddox before.
Dude's a young god.
I don't know, but I mean, there's people like, I believe Ake said in his 600 seconds, or the 500 seconds.
600, yeah.
600, and that's 10 minutes. Yeah. He was saying like that he thinks Dashy is like the most raw skill player in the game right now. I just want to keep him happy. Like, he is our like LeBron. Just keep him happy. But I think the best thing that happened is that this event was really weird. Not only was there a stupid, crazy roster mania, like especially with like the midnight esports thing that happened where like they're doing great and like, okay, let's just suck now and change the roster. I don't even know why they did that. But then you have teams like who was it? Was 100 Thieves, I think, all placed like below us. Oh no, they placed around ahead of us. But there were a bunch of teams that like went out early or didn't make it out of the groups. I mean, we were also in the group of death, which didn't hurt. Our entire group, Envy went
stacked, bro.
Well, no, Envy went out at the same round as we did.
Yeah,
so that's those two teams, and then E United went out first round losers bracket. Reciprocity is the only team that made it far. What was that? You logged out. Second.
Stacked in the sense that like, I think those teams are still really good. Like, even though like that happened, because like you're still seeing. It's just this game seems inconsistent again, like World War II. It just seems like any team can beat any team pretty consistently, and it's just weird, man. It's just weird.
It didn't look like it at first, because like in the Pro League you saw the best teams winning. You know, LG, you think was going to be a good team, but they were consistently losing. They weren't doing well. 100 Thieves was the only team, like in the qualifier, how they almost lost and they came back and everything. But besides that, and now you see like Heretics killed it, and then they like shit the bed in groups.
Yeah, it's so freaking weird, bro. I don't know what to say.
Oh no, I was just so upset after this event. Not only that, but the League of Legends team had lost the day before, or maybe the same day. No, because they played Saturday and Sunday, right?
Yeah, Saturday and Sunday.
So I think they lost earlier that day, and then they played. What order was it in? Was it C9 on Sunday?
Yeah, C9 on Sunday, CLG on Saturday.
So last week I was saying we had a great chance to make the playoffs. There are 4 games left. All we had to do is beat CLG, and we're like almost guaranteed. If we won 3 or 4 and beat CLG, we're guaranteed in, no matter who we won and lost to. But now we lost 1 to C9, we lost 1 to CLG. So now it's really hard, and most likely if we make it in, it's probably gonna be in a whatchamacallit, the tiebreaker.
Yeah, if we go 2-0, we are guaranteed at least a tiebreaker. But we have it's not an easy week.
Not at all.
Let me actually look it up, because they might have.
We're playing 100 Thieves and Golden Guardians. I think we can beat 100 Thieves. Golden Guardians is going to be a hard one because they are a very good team.
Okay.
My
So
scare.
look at this.
Sorry, what?
No, continue.
My scare with like this upcoming week is I'm almost worried of being bottom 2. Like bottom 2 is bad because if you are bottom 2, like a certain like 5 out of 8 splits in a row, you can get kicked out of the LCS. So like to me,
Oh, really?
it's important that we stay above Clutch and 100 Thieves at all costs. So if we beat 100 Thieves and then Clutch loses, we should be fine. But we just need to stay out of the bottom 2 because if you are in the bottom 2 for like I believe it's 5 out of 8 season splits.
Yeah,
Sorry,
like that, yeah.
5 out of 8 splits. You are like it is possible that you get kicked out.
Oh,
And
really?
so like,
I thought the whole
yeah.
thing with franchising was like, no, there's no chance. Unless...
Yeah, it's like if you are bottom 2, 5 out of 8 splits, it does say something about your team. So it's like kind of understandable.
Oh, wow, that's crazy. Actually, I did not know that until right now.
So I'm stressed out for that because I don't want to leave the LCS.
Well,
Not yet, anyway.
Well,
Not yet.
I don't think we would have to go 0-2, and 100 Thieves would have to go 0-2 to place last. Clutch
Yeah.
Gaming could technically beat us.
However, we do have the Riot FPS coming out soon, so I wonder what the play base for League is going to be like. You know, if they're going to make this.
That's a good.
Obviously, it might not like affect it at all, but you never know.
Yeah, I don't know. If anything, it's probably going to take players away from
Counter-Strike and all that.
other FPS games versus
Wait,
like MOBAs.
wait,
but
what's coming
it'll be
out?
Interesting.
The new like Riot FPS. They said they're going to release a game every 10 years, and it's been 10 years this year since the last Riot game.
Wait, what's it
And-
called?
They don't know yet. It's not being confirmed, but it'll probably get released.
Apparently, it's similar to CS. Is from
Yeah.
what we've heard.
Yeah.
Interesting. Was League the last game they released?
Yeah.
Wow, that blew up in 10 years. That's crazy to think about. What's gonna happen.
Did they have a game before League? I thought that was their first game.
Might have been. I
I
can't
can
think.
check right now.
I'm trying.
But yeah.
I'm trying to look it up.
I just want to make sure that we stay in that top 7, and I'll be happy. Wait, top 8. Sorry, top 8, and I'll be happy. I really, really want to make playoffs, and that's like a bummer if we don't. But because I mean, man, our team is so close. We're like 1 or 2 parts away from being a like top 4 team in the LCS.
What do you think has to change with our
top laner and maybe support / maybe ADC? I don't know. Looking at like I heard someone say on the Reddit, try and replace Dokla with one of like the young guys like Fake God or Kumo or like someone who can be a native top laner that can like at least stabilize us. And he said another option would be to drop Arrow for Asta and then pick up like an import like Kuvi as our support. And Kuvi was on Genji with Crown. So I think like that's kind of probably an pretty unrealistic thing to say, but like something like that would be interesting just to mix it up. Also, like someone mentioned like having like a support like Biofrost come in would be interesting because right now looking at our team, Big and Dokla are both in the top 5 like average deaths per game. And that's just like
I heard
too
that Dokla is the most I forget how they word the stat. Most singled
solo killed.
Yeah, solo killed.
Yeah.
Singled out target or something like that.
Yeah, it's bad.
Because like every game, the last like 5 games, if you go back and watch the VODs, I guarantee you that at least 4 of the 5, Dokla is first blooded.
Yeah.
And like teams look at it and they say, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna gank Dokla. You think OpTic would be like, hey guys, you know what they're gonna do? I think they're gonna gank Dokla sometime within the first like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. At what point do you not blame the players and you blame the coach?
I mean,
Accusations there.
I'm not saying. Listen, I love him. Like his history is fine. I'm just saying, is it the player's fault or is it the coaching? I
think
didn't plan on this.
Garbage.
You think that's the sole reason why we're not like?
I mean,
in
you
the
can only
playoffs?
do so much in coaching when your top lane is getting farmed, and it's not even that. Like looking at the CLG game, we lost because of the top was getting camped. Like within like the first 15 minutes, he was already down 2 or 3k gold, and like that was just huge. But the thing that's like killer for us is not necessarily that was his fault because he was getting like ganked constantly, but because we're in a position where he has a really small champion pool that is kind of a niche pick like Yorick, and then he's getting ganked on those champions because if you don't at least go even in lane, Yorick is kind of a difficult champion to use because he's not that good at team fighting and he's really just a split push split push champion, and so he's not giving us much flexibility on the rest of the map. And so what happened was he got camped top, got destroyed, slaughtered, which allowed what's his name, the CLG top laner, allowed him to start roaming, get pressure on the rest of the map, which meant that our other lanes started doing like losing CS and not being able to hold up the pressure, and then it just became like a slow, bloody death that was painful to watch.
I think it was an Oracle. Also, I don't know why they changed the name. I liked Recall after
I liked Recall way more too.
Yeah. I didn't get the pun at first, but I definitely liked Recall more. I don't know why they changed it. I mean, they kept Focus the same. They've kept Vision the same for forever.
I guess new editors, so they wanted to change the name because it's not Roger doing it.
That could be. Also, Roger is part of OpTic now.
Yeah.
But
sometimes.
so I think it was an Oracle where Zabatine was saying, or someone was saying that they went into the match of. Oh no, it was the week beforehand. They went into a match saying it was. I think it was the last episode that you and me did, Jordan, where like we went in with the idea for our picks, and after when it got to the picks, like it changed last second, and like so that completely changes the game plan that they planned for and prep for, and I don't know. I feel like if we're gonna be a playoff team, we have to be able to play in the picks and bans in order to like. You can't just be like, oh, let's play these heroes or these champions.
Yeah.
And then yeah, go on.
I just want to see like a top laner, and like even like I just feel like the champion pool of our top really in this top team. And then our communication is obviously going to be an issue.
Whoa. Like, go back a couple seconds. You totally just lagged out.
Just having a top laner who with a better champion pool, and then having a team that is on the same page when we get to macro is like huge. And so I don't know what's been up with Big, but I don't think he's terrible. But I also think that like he's not great. So it's hard to know how good Big is. Pardon?
Like Lemonation? Never mind.
Yeah,
Go on, go.
It's hard to know how good Big is when we don't see him with a better top laner. So I'd be interested to see with a better top laner before like we make those changes because we've still been doing decently.
So
like,
you would say don't get rid of Big yet, but maybe get rid of Dokla, change that up, and then see how Big's doing from there.
Yeah, maybe. Or if they want to like nuke it, they could also just change top and the entire bot, and that'd be interesting.
Because I will say, because you've been playing League for a lot longer than I have, and following it a lot longer than I have, so you have more insight than me. But like even for me, like I can tell Dokla is a problem, and then I've also been questioning Big. Although Big has had some moments where I'm like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, exactly. And he brings a lot of like shot calling into the game, and we may not see how impactful that is for better or worse. So I would be interested to see how we do with just a new top laner. But the problem is we don't have a lot of options that are natives. If we do get an import for top, then we have to then use Arrow. We have to sub him out and use Asta, and like Asta, I have like faith that he can grow into a really good player, but I just don't think he's quite ready yet. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe when he gets on the big stage, he excels. But
do you know what I want? Yeah. I was thinking about this now. I want to be feared. I want OpTic. I want our teams to be like, because I feel like our Overwatch League team, our CS team, our League team, people look at us and are like, "Oh, it's OpTic. Okay, this is a winnable match, or this is an easy win." And I want it to be, and then with the COD team losing this week, you know, like obviously people aren't going to think that way because people are expecting us to win the event.
Yeah.
But like I want people to be like, "Oh, OpTic. Oh, this is going to be a hard one." I want to be. I don't want to be the underdog for once.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's a part to transition into the Overwatch segment.
Yeah.
Unless you have any other big points that you want to talk to that. But before we do that, I just want to say, OpTic still has a chance to make the playoffs. It would have been much easier if they won one of their matches this week. They have to hope for help. If they win both their matches, I believe that they're guaranteed at least a tiebreaker match. But they can still make it in this week, depending on without that, depending on what people do. But moving on to Overwatch, it's like the same story, dude. It's the same story as the COD team and the League of Legends team. They're snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. They have every chance that they have to win. This week they went into it against Atlanta, who just lost to the Hunters, who had 2 wins.
Mm-hmm.
And map 1, they were a team fight twice away from taking map 1. They won map 2. Map 3, there were multiple times where they lost it. Map 3, I forget which order it was in. Horizon Lunar Colony. They had the weirdest comp. They couldn't get past the Bastion comp from Atlanta. DeFran, like I love the guy, but like his comps, like no one expects it, and you can just tell how like we're not a top tier team because we don't know how to overcome these comps. If they're not standard comps. So we failed to take the first part on Horizon Lunar Colony, which is absolutely terrible. And we come out with this weird Farah, Hammond, Jake on Sombra, even though Dante is like the best Sombra in the league, so that Dante could play Tracer. And it was just chaos because at that point they couldn't lose one team fight for 8+ minutes.
Yeah.
And if they did, then they lost the map. So they had to try to counter goats, which you can't do because if they just match goats with goats, they just run at them until they eventually win.
Mm-hmm.
So it was already a lost cause, but it was a very, very stupid hero decision, comp decision. And then the last match, how they just positioned themselves, they gave themselves like 2 less team fights on defense. And on offense, again, they were one team fight away from winning, or at least going to the next into double overtime, I guess it would be in that. I don't know, the second round of stuff. And they couldn't do it there. And they like time after time after time, it's like the Crim falling off the map. It's like the Karma wasting his grab slam. It's like Dokla getting picked. That you can see what's happening. You can tell what's happening. You're not a player, and it's just I want to be feared. I wanted to make the stage playoffs. Everyone talks bad about the Outlaws. Everyone talks bad about OpTic Gaming, League of Legends, and the Outlaws had a chance to win it. If they won, they made playoffs. I mean, Titans had to win, but they 4-0'd. There was no way that Titans weren't going to win, and it's so sad. It was like this is the worst weekend of OpTic that I've ever seen. And you think with St. Patrick's Day being green and shit, that would give us some sort of luck. Luck isn't a thing apparently because all
I was
our
out
teams
with
should have
the
been.
ball last night.
But it was.
I was 100% out with the green wall.
That's funny.
It was a terrible weekend. One of the worst weekends I can think of in a long time. I mean,
outside of like COD champs when we came 7th twice.
The silver lining when I went to go look up the OpTic versus C9 League of Legends match. It was the first time I think I looked up OpTic versus C9, and the Black Ops 3 champs didn't come up in my search feed, and I was sad. So that's the only
good time.
That's the only good thing that came up, just because League of Legends is bigger. But
it hurts because like I feel like our teams are so close in so many ways. Like our league team is freaking close, bro. Like Crown is getting more comfortable, get that communication better. New top laner, like we have talent on our team. Look to the Outlaws. I don't know that well, but like clearly we have talent, and it just doesn't seem to be coming together properly. And then same thing with our COD team. we clearly have talent, a lot of talent on that COD team, and it's just not coming together at the right time for us.
I will say, like, the next, like, Overwatch is weird because the next stage is going to have a completely new meta. Hopefully, like, the GOATS meta might stay in. But it's very weird because, like, our star players, I'm not sure if we're even going to start Arhan. I think it's a communication issue, and I don't think they're working on it, which is terrible, especially when you have Tyrong as a Korean coach, but they haven't played him. Linkser can't play because he plays DPS, and they play GOATS. The only time they play him is, like, a map here or there if they want to, like, flex to a DPS setup, which doesn't always work, and it's only ever like map 1.
Yeah.
So, like,
I freaking miss Linkser, bro.
Like, you would think if it was just GOATS as a meta, you would think we have like a great lineup for GOATS with Muma on main tank. We have world class, maybe not world class anymore, Diva player. If we run Sombra GOATS now, Dante is great on that. We have if Movers is going to play the Winston GOATS, like we have all the players line up, and like the Brig has been killing us. And dude, Jake is essentially big on the league team, or actually he's big and Dokla, so he's always getting picked first. He dies first the most in team fights, I think, in the league. And his deaths cause the most team fight losses in the league, and then. But he's also like the shot caller and like big is. So it's like, okay, well, what does he bring to the table, and can we get past that? So a lot of times we could put Linkser on the Brig and like have Linkser in there to switch over to DPS, but apparently Jake is better at shot calling, which sucks. And hopefully next meta is better for us, but like if not, all these teams are getting so much better. Because I will put it into perspective, right? I'll put it like this. There is a site called it's OW Playoff. I could look up right here. I have it bookmarked. OWPlayoffMachine.com, and it will give you like all the outcomes. You can see all the outcomes. Mm-hmm. Some of the first 2 games of the season, we lost on one team fight, Game 5 against Defiant. Defiant ended up 5-2. We win that. Let's say we won that 3-2 instead. And then where was it? We lost to Boston the same fashion. One team fight, 3-2. We're 5-2 now. And obviously we only have a +1 map differential compared to like Vancouver or New York, but like we're up there with Philly, and Philly I think is a very, very similar close team to us. Last season, we were one team fight away from knocking them out of the playoffs and us going to playoffs. And they ended up placing 2nd overall. And everyone's giving them so much credit this season. Yeah. And now they're 5-2, and everyone's saying, "Oh, they're so good. They're going to be on top." Recently, I think they lost to Florida, which is why like people are saying, "Oh, this isn't the meta for them." But they have the talent, and they're still a good team. And now they're 5-2.
Where it seems like recently the OpTic story has been we were so close to playoffs.
Exactly, which is why
9-9 in summer split.
Fuck franchising. I hate it.
Which is why I hate. Which is why I want to be feared again. And like, we were one team fight multiple times away from like winning multiple matches.
Yeah. And
then we would be like top 4, and we are. I feel like we could be the same talent as the Philadelphia Fusion. I just feel like we could be the same team, but they're all getting things going right for them, whether it's Game 5 matches and whatnot, wins, and we're getting all like Game 5 losses and whatnot, and it just blows, man. It's tough being an OpTic fan sometimes, unless you're a Gears fan.
That it is.
What team has saw success recently except the Gears team? You know,
PUBG before they left, I guess. That's about it.
I don't know, man. I mean, I feel like OpTic League has had its moments where it's seen success, and its moments where it's just been like, man, you guys are terrible.
Yeah, they're
I think it's so
6
hard.
and 10 success.
If you think about it though, it's so hard with franchising because there is only like 1 tournament, 2 tournaments, you know, and you're playing against the world's best.
Yeah.
That unless we have an absolute god squad of a team like we do in Gears, we, you know, not every team is going to be able to win a tournament every weekend like back in COD.
Our Call of Duty team should be a god squad though.
Yeah, I know, but like even them, we've only got however many tournaments, like 6 or 7, I want to say, a year to show ourselves.
Not a ton.
It's just the way esports is becoming. I think you're getting less and less chances to win, but there's more on the line if you do win.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's weird world, but I think the nice thing about the league team is we are starting to have a foundation for future years to come, because obviously we did just buy into the LCS like a year ago, so it is a project. And like, thank goodness we didn't just chuck money at the league team, because you saw what happened to 100 Thieves. They like, think about how much money compared to OpTic 100 Thieves have put in, and now think about where they are. They're at the bottom, and they have put so much more money in than we have. So when you think about it, like, I know we've been so frustrated with like our team and like the transfers we've been making. I mean, think about like for the future, if we're not spending money now, but like progressively, we're gonna have a better budget in the future, hopefully. So
yeah.
Is
And
there
as well, if you look at 100 Thieves, that seems to be the motto. They're similar to FaZe. They just think, oh, we'll buy the best players we can with the money we got, and then let's make this God squad.
It works out a lot.
It might not work.
It doesn't really work out that much though. Look at the COD team. That COD team
look at the COD team.
Oh yeah.
It only just shows
league
success
team
this weekend.
is trash, and then like, I don't know about like really the other teams, but like, it's not a very like, you can't just put world class players together and they will work. I remember looking at the OpTic team coming into the 2018-2019 season, and I was like, okay, like, it's not bad, but like, surely there's better teams on paper, like 100 Thieves. But then like, it came down to like just understanding the roles, and like, you can't just put gods on one team and they'll perform. Or then like, Karma wouldn't be on like a team, but he's clearly one of the most valuable players, like if you just go by statistics, you know. And so it's it's a difficult situation, but I feel like we just gotta like,
how long do we have to wait though? I just want to go to the playoffs, dude.
Yeah, we just gotta weather out the storm for another year, I guess. And like,
dude, what's going to happen then? Is it going to be the same thing next time though? Because I saw someone, I guess they're a Cincinnati fan, and like, I don't want to be the Cincinnati of this league and just being close every time and not coming up not enough to like say, oh, this roster is good enough, we should stick with this. But then not enough to actually win.
Because as much money as we can chuck at it, another team like Team Liquid can chuck more money. So it's not even that. Like, it's just a difficult situation to be in, because if we gotta just like grow talent ourselves and hopefully find success to gain traction to like kind of like have a domino effect. Because being brand new teams into these leagues, if you didn't start off with the god tier roster that will continue to perform for years on, it's gonna take you ages to get into it, or you're gonna have to chuck an insane amount of money at it. And like, obviously we've seen how that's worked for 100 Thieves. But look at like Team Liquid. They've been in League of Legends for ages, and they weren't winning like playoffs and stuff like that until just like the past year. But now they're dominant. So it is like, as much as we want this fast success, unfortunately,
10 years time we might make it to the playoffs.
Unfortunately, like in League of Legends, in
playoffs,
in like Overwatch League, at least in League of Legends, there's 9 other teams that also want to be known as like the best, and they have money and financial backers just like OpTic do. So it's like, it's not easy.
Well, here's the thing. Like, the other thing is, even when we make it to the playoffs, like the top 4 right now, let's say this is what the playoff picture looks like, right? Let's say the top 4 right now are Liquid, C9, Solo, TSM, and FlyQuest. Mm-hmm. Even that, like, just making the playoffs, I mean, Worlds, like, are they good enough at Worlds? They're not going to do anything at Worlds. And like, maybe the best team can win a couple matches at Worlds, maybe, right? Against
who? Team Liquid?
Yeah, maybe a match here or there. But like,
I think Team Liquid could do damage at Worlds.
But like, my point is, even if we are good enough to finally make it into the playoffs, like 5 years from now, well then we're not going to make it to Worlds, and if we do, we're going to get destroyed in 15 minutes. It's like 6 matches.
Yeah, by like a Chinese team. We're just gonna be like, shite.
Yeah, and like,
wasn't worth it.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. I think the US is the LCS, not the US, is super top heavy. So I think like, you're looking at your Cloud9s and Team Liquids, and I think they can definitely perform on a world stage. Maybe not like I don't know if they're
Well-
gonna win Worlds, but I think that, I mean, look at Cloud9 last year. They almost made it to the finals of the World Championship. They were one game away. And so it's
yeah.
like, we still have the talent. I mean, you're also talking about a Team Liquid team who has world champions on their team. Like, Core JJ, absolutely insane support player. Double Lift, if he can perform at Worlds, fantastic player. I mean, Xmithy, one of the best native junglers. Jensen, obviously a world-class mid laner who always performs at Worlds. And, like, Impact to the top, also a world champion. And so other regions have their powerful teams too, like Griffin in the LCK, or like, I mean, Europe is kind of a mess right now because for ages it seemed like G2 were like by far the best, but it seems like almost, I know they've had issues with like injuries, but almost like then they're definitely not a god squad right now. They definitely look vulnerable. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens when we get to Worlds, but I definitely think the top teams stand a chance in bracket play at Worlds.
Well, I'm just saying that, like,
Yeah.
if eventually we make playoffs, we have to be able. I don't want to be looked down upon like in Worlds. I don't want people to say, "Oh, it's just OpTic again." But I mean, first we have to do that in the NALCS.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just a long way till then. I just hope that it's not the same thing with like this team as it is with the COD this event saying if Crim didn't fall off the map, and then with like this saying, oh, if we only didn't throw away that game versus TSM, we would have done this. We could have done this. We should have done this. And that's all it is. Like with all the teams. So I don't know, it's hard being an OpTic fan, but that's what makes it good when things finally turn up. And hey, some of our best content has come out of hardships, Vision Crossroads.
Oh yeah.
So you know, there's always there's always some sort of silver lining. I think the thing is, but yeah, rough week. Any last points before we end the show?
No.
All right. Well,
Not from me.
well, guys.
CS, have we done that?
Oh yeah, do you want to talk about the CS briefly?
Go ahead.
I know that Ben
briefly
definitely has more to say about that than we do. So Ben,
So-
take it away.
Reports have been coming out today that Config and Yugi are gonna leave. Config is probably our best player.
Oof.
Not even gonna lie, Yugi's alright, but he's just not being consistent while he's been playing with us. He's not like ever had, good games with us. So it's not really a huge loss, I'd say. But like Config, of course, is like he's quite a well-known player and brings a lot to the brand, I'd say. And then we're supposed to be getting Nico back. That's the Danish Nico, not the God Nico. And then also MSL, which I'm not happy about because I don't think MSL's that amazing.
Yeah, but
think
Mail
it's places to
tweeted
shite.
out that's not happening though.
Yeah, but like he didn't tweet it, he posted it in Discord, and
Oh, I saw it.
they always say that. They always say that.
Well,
It's
I don't know if they always say that because like usually they'll say stuff like, "Don't always believe everything you hear," or "I can neither confirm nor deny those comments." Or for him to say, I believe it was like the chances of that happening is the same probability of us getting Magisk back, which obviously
So what if we get Magisk?
either we're getting Magisk back, or which would be great,
Yeah.
Yes, good news, boys.
or it's not happening.
We bought the Astralis.
That or OpTic's management has some really big things to look into because the fact that they're coming up on ship saying this is a definite, this is not happening, and then it to happen is kind of worrisome for me because usually they're very clear about, hey, this is what's happening, or we can't say what's happening, but just trust us. And there's been a lot of stuff on Reddit about like not very good communication from like some of the members from OpTic. Blackbeard's been on top of that, fixing that stuff up and whatnot. But I mean, I don't know. I don't want to stick on that too much because it has been confirmed. Yeah, it's a rumor. It has been confirmed.
To mention.
I mean, we were going to get a liege. That was actually we were going to get a liege, but that was back in the day. But like, it's just a rumor. When that happens, we can talk about it more about the implications of what that is and whatnot. But I mean, I don't know. The CS, I have a lot on my mind with CS, so we can talk about that next time. But yeah, so guys, make sure subscribe down below. We're going to periodically do some live shows after some tournaments if possible. get like live reactions from us and from you guys. You guys could join the Discord and come in live on the show with us. So do that. Also, I have all that stuff linked down. I also have I'm gonna leave a link and shout out to the person who created the new thumbnail, who helped us out with that. So go follow them, give them some love. And yeah, that's gonna do it. Just chins up, guys. We'll get them next time with all the teams. No matter who you support.
Mission failed.
We'll get next time.
If you feel bad, just go watch OpTic Trivia or the Gears team. So until next time, guys. I'll see you later.
Goodbye.